It's Friday, June 20th. This is CTV at 6. Here's what's making news tonight. More professional days for teachers, fewer days in class for New Brunswick students. Why is it still so difficult to find a rental car in the region this summer?
Muggy weather breaks for the weekend, but summer heat and humidity return early next week.
Live from our Maritimes News Center, this is CTV News at 6. Here is Todd Battis.
Good evening. We'll have that education report in a moment, but we begin with police asking for the public's help tonight as they investigate an alleged sexual assault in Cole Harbour. RCMP say a 44-year-old woman was walking along a trail around 9 o'clock Tuesday night when a man came up behind her, assaulted her, then sexually assaulted her. She fought back and got away with minor injuries. Police are actively searching for a suspect. Here's how he's being described.
She does not know her assailant. He's described as 6 feet tall, 230 pounds, has brown eyes. At the time of the offense, he had a goatee, a black hoodie with a white logo, and a black ball cap.
Police are asking anyone who may have seen something or especially has video from earlier that evening or shortly after the alleged attack to please contact them. On our website, police in Bathurst have revived a search for a missing teenager believed to have been murdered in 2021. If you'd like to see the details, you can find them at ctvnewsatlantic.ca. Thefts from vehicles are on the rise in the Halifax area. It's prompted police to issue a warning and has many people choosing to increase security at their homes, like adding cameras to catch thieves in the act. CTV's Jesse Thomas has more.
Week's security camera footage captured this man creeping down John Van Gerp's laneway, checking his car door, but it was locked, something Van Gerp never forgets to do.
And often the last thing I do before I go to bed is hit that remote, the fob, wait for the beep, the door is locked.
The trespasser triggered an alert to his cell phone. Van Gerp then shared the video to his neighborhood Facebook page as a heads up to others.
I'm surprised at how few incidents we have, but it happens every 4 or 5 months. I'll get an alert on my camera that somebody has come up the driveway.
Part of the reason for the added security measures he's installed, like the camera and the motion-activated light. Police call it a crime of opportunity, but say it's happening more often.
Since January up until May, we've received 584 complaints of theft from motor vehicle. There's been a steady increase, more so since February up until now. And in May alone, there's been approximately 158.
On Thursday, police arrested a man in connection with a break-in at an underground parking garage at this South End apartment complex. A witness reported it while it was happening, and police were able to arrest the suspect nearby with stolen property. Several cars were damaged and windows smashed. Officers encourage the public, if they see anything suspicious, to report it.
Hopefully we can respond and speak to somebody on scene or make an arrest on that during that incident.
Van Gerp isn't fazed by the attempted break-in of his car. It's just another reminder to lock up.
It doesn't hurt for people to be aware, and maybe it'll help somebody remember to lock their car at night.
Jesse Thomas, CTV News, Halifax.
It is the first day of summer, and there is a look at Yarmouth right now. 17 degrees may not feel like summer, but certainly the blue skies there makes it look like summer at least. Let's bring in Kayla Mitchell for our first look at the forecast tonight. And, well, it's not cold and it's not rain, so we'll say it's summer.
That's right. Why not? And Yarmouth, of course, being one of those coastal areas, the wind was still a little bit more directly on shore there, held the temperatures down. Other parts of the Maritimes, though, that saw the sun shine through today and weren't on the coast, boy, they had temperatures that soared, especially some locations in Cape Breton. So far today, at weather stations in the country monitored by Environment Canada, the hottest spot so far today has been at Ingonish Beach, the weather station there, 32.5 degrees as far as the high temperature went. And it was feeling around 38, 39 at that time with the humidity in the air. You can still see quite hot around parts of Prince Edward Island this evening. A few areas the east of New Brunswick and northern areas of Nova Scotia. And then it cools towards the Atlantic coastline, the Bay of Fundy coastline, and northern and western areas of New Brunswick, because there's been some rounds of some showers and some thunderstorms that have moved through. Dew point temperatures still at the level where there's no noticeable amount of mugginess in the air. A northwest wind coming in tonight and tomorrow, though, is going to lower that level of humidity for the upcoming weekend before it returns to the start of next week. And really looks like Tuesday, we are still going to be peaking with heat and humidity around the Maritime region. And on Tuesday, we'll see this later in the extended forecast, that heat and humidity will come with a chance of showers and a risk of some thunderstorms. Another thing you're probably noticing out there if you're walking around this evening, the winds are gusty. They're being sustained in a lot of cases between 20 and 40 kilometers per hour. We're getting some gusts reported between 30 and 60 kilometers per hour. That's happening as that weather front is now moving into northern and central areas of New Brunswick. That front is bringing along these showers, those few thunderstorms. The front continues to come across the Maritimes for tonight, so there'll be a chance of some showers later tonight for both Prince Edward Island and Nova Scotia. Then we're on to the other side of that front for the start of the weekend, which, Todd, is looking sunny and warm, and I'll be talking more about that when I'm back a little bit.
Okay, people will be eager to see that in 15 minutes. Thank you, Caitlin. So, did you fill up before midnight last night? If not, no doubt you wish you did, probably, once you saw those prices posted at the gas stations. Both gasoline and diesel prices spiked overnight, the second time this week for diesel. CTV's Jonathan McGinnis looks at what's behind the hike on this first weekend of summer.
It's costing motorists a little bit more to do this today. Pump prices increased across the Maritimes overnight.
It's life, right? Just got to pay what you got to pay. So.
Gas in Nova Scotia is now at $1.45.7, while diesel jumped to $1.56.4. Across the border in New Brunswick, pump prices rose to $1.46.8, with diesel coming in at an even $1.54. Motorists on PEI are forking over $1.54.8 a litre for gas, and a Maritime leading $1.67 for diesel.
I didn't look. Whatever it costs, it costs.
Gary McClay is heading to a summer campground in Nova Scotia. He says having a home on wheels is saving him money, despite what the pump says.
The fuel economy in these, it's not great, but there's no motel rooms, and our house is right here.
Experts claim the reason for the price jump is tied to the Iran-Israel conflict.
Diesel and gasoline prices as a result are jumping. Diesel more than gasoline. Part of the reason is that diesel inventories are at some of the lowest levels that we've seen for this time of year in many years. They're about 20% below average for this time of year.
In Nova Scotia, those diesel users have seen pump prices jump by more than 15 cents this week. Once when the Utility and Review Board used the interrupter clause on Tuesday, then during the regular Friday adjustment.
Oh, it's quite a bit. That could go up $300–400 a week, easily.
Still, it's cheaper than fueling up on PEI, where diesel is 10 cents a litre more. That's enough to convince drivers to skip island pumps altogether.
Carriers that can't pass on the fuel surcharge because they don't have those arrangements in place, I can see where they're going to pick and choose their spots.
With the first day of summer now here, many motorists will be doing the same as they hit the road for their favorite vacation spots. And Todd, Iran produces almost 4 million barrels of oil a day. And as long as the attacks continue between Iran and Israel, Patrick DeHaan says fuel prices will continue to climb. Todd.
All right, John McGinnis at what I believe is to be the big stop in Enfield, Nova Scotia. Thank you. Well, the price of gas is not an issue if you can't find a vehicle to drive, and that's the case for people hoping to quickly book a car. Rentals are again proving difficult to find this summer. Here's CTV's Emma Convey.
You may see cars on rental lots in Halifax, but that doesn't mean they're all available, or it at least appears that way online.
We are around 60%. I could say we can sold out on 65%, but we are already seeing lots of booking for the futures.
This small car rental company says June demand has been comparable to last year, but July looks to be busier, with the Canada Day weekend expected to be sold out.
Every company trying to find the sweet spot, how many vehicles they want to have in their fleet. So yes, during summer month, if you want to book a car, it's better to book in advance.
Though cars still can be found, booking early was crucial for these two travelers for their month-long road trip.
More like April, because we started booking our trip for way back in September of last year. Just went on the website and used my little perk and said when I would pick it up and when I'll bring it back, and no problems at all.
But availability becomes a problem when booking last minute. This family tried to book a week before and had no luck.
Nothing that would hold 6 people. It was very limited. The market was very tough down here trying to find a vehicle.
And the later you book, the more expensive the booking.
Prices do fluctuate with the demand and supply. So during month of summer like July, August, car prices they're going to be very expensive.
It's a competitive market, so prices do matter.
Competition, having ourselves a very small company, we are in the competition and we are always 10% below the big names.
But for some, car sharing apps where drivers can rent out their cars to others have become a cheaper option.
I hear that it's very hard to rent cars on the East Coast, actually, so that's kind of how we found Huro last time when we went to Newfoundland.
We're here for 5 days. It was $340 for the 5 days, so it worked out good versus a regular car rental place was about $1,200.
Todd, it was actually a year ago I did this exact same story in September. And that's obviously about, last year we found the same trouble with rental cars. And I'm hearing similar options when it comes to the East Coast. And of course, with tariffs, it's actually bringing more travelers to Halifax, a lot of Europeans, and those, of course, from our own country. And that's adding to the troubles as well. Todd.
So, Emma, it sounds like, well, it's no secret, but if you know you're going to come down this way, the sooner you can get online and book that, the better?
Of course, the sooner you can get to these rental car places, the better luck you're going to find a vehicle.
Yeah, okay, thank you. Emma Convey in Halifax for us tonight. A man is dead following a single vehicle crash in Lunenburg County yesterday. Mid-afternoon is when it happened. A pickup truck left the road and landed upside down and submerged in Wallace Brook. A 28-year-old man from Middlewood died at the scene. A New Brunswick initiative that offers services to seniors who want to stay in their own homes is expanding across Canada. The province has announced a 20-bed seniors residence in Dieppe is joining Nursing Homes Without Walls, and that program started just next door in Moncton. It involves in-person social visits and activities designed to help reduce isolations for individuals. The initiative is attracting nationwide attention, and other provinces have taken note with what's happening here.
We already have letters of interest from several groups in different provinces across Canada that are ready to test Nursing Home Without Walls, and we're moving forward in the next while.
There are currently 27 nursing homes without walls sites across the province of New Brunswick. Now to a very personal story. A Halifax woman who has lived in constant pain for decades has chosen to end her life with medically assisted dying. But before, she received a prestigious award, one that she may not have lived to see. CTV's Stephanie Seco spoke with her.
April Hubbard didn't think she would be here today.
Most days I'm in so much pain that I can't function normatively. I can't feed myself. I can't bathe myself. I need help with all of the day-to-day activities now.
The 40-year-old lives with severe chronic pain related to a condition called tethered cord syndrome. She was diagnosed at the age of 17, at which point she started using a wheelchair. Hubbard applied for medical assistance in dying in the fall of 2023. She was approved about 7 months later and had planned to end her life in late 2024.
It was a long and arduous process, but one that I felt very confident I needed, and one that's given me a lot of peace of mind now that I have it in place, that I can push a little further and take more risks that I didn't think I'd be able to.
She didn't have an official date set, but decided to postpone her death after learning she was selected for a Governor General's Performing Arts Award for volunteerism.
I wasn't sure if my health would allow for it, for one, but I really wanted to prioritize being there, mostly because I saw the importance of me being on stage as a visibly disabled woman.
Last weekend, Hubbard and her husband traveled to Ottawa for the ceremony.
People getting Lifetime Achievement Awards and saying that my career has mattered to them was really amazing to see, and will be a memory I'll carry with me for the rest of my life.
Hubbard has always loved the performing arts and has spent more than half of her life volunteering and advocating for accessibility. She also got to live out her dream of getting back on the stage.
There are many highlights from my career, but for sure being the first female disabled chair of the Halifax Fringe Festival was the biggest one for me.
In these last few months, Hubbard has been living life to the fullest. She's even fallen in love.
We wanted this time together to grow a lifetime of memories in whatever time that we have together now.
And to celebrate the accomplishment she didn't think she'd live to see. Stephanie Seco, CTV News, Halifax.
Get the Maritime's top stories, breaking news alerts, and watch live. Download the CTV News app.
We can bring you that education story now. And students attending 37 Anglophone district schools will spend fewer days in class next year. In a pilot project, teachers will have more professional development days. Both the New Brunswick Department of Education and Teachers Association insist it will improve learning. It will also force parents to find childcare. CTV's Nick Moore has details.
School's out for another year, and when students come back to Harborview High in September, they'll have at least 2 Fridays off every month. The school is part of a pilot program that sees professional development days added to a revised school calendar. Education Minister Claire Johnson says it may improve math and reading results.
There's a lot of good data and good research that shows that there's a correlation between more professional learning and better test results.
Johnson hopes the pilot program will also improve chronic absenteeism on school days. A total of 37 schools are included in the pilot program, including all 4 high schools in St. John. Some parents are not impressed. Evan Hambrook is a member of the Parent School Support Committee at Moncton High, which is not part of the program, but the idea has been debated there.
What a lot of people kind of have different opinions on, but I just think it's such an impact to just all different families where I think they should be in school, learning, socializing, and kind of developing those skills.
All grade levels are part of the program. It is something the New Brunswick Teachers Association has been pushing for.
The need for collaboration amongst allied health professionals and EAs throughout the school day is super important. So we do believe it'll help with retention.
Students we spoke to love the idea.
I think it'll be pretty nice having some free time.
It sounds pretty good. A free little extra weekend.
The province says school districts are working with local organizations to identify childcare and recreation possibilities for families on PD days.
Engagement with early childhood centers is certainly part of that. Now, for the older learners, I see an opportunity. I see an opportunity for self-directed learning.
The province says a firm schedule for when professional development days will be held hasn't yet been finalized. Nick Moore, CTV News, St. John.
We hope to speak with the Minister of Education today, but she was unavailable for an interview. We hope to have her with us on Monday. And if you're interested, you can find the full list of 37 schools involved in this program at ctvnewsatlantic.ca. We also want to make this our web poll this evening. And we're asking, do you think more professional development days in schools would help or hinder student learning? The options are help, hinder, or maybe you think there's no impact. And the poll is up now at our website. Okay, we're going to step aside for our first break this evening. Still to come, a sunny Saturday with showers returning on Monday. Nothing to be too concerned about. Kalen returns with his summer forecast, the first weekend. But next, going green.
This is all positive news, I believe.
We'll look at a new initiative to help Prince Edward Island potato farmers make PEI even greener. That's after these commercial messages. June is when fields on Prince Edward Island are at their greenest. A new initiative is working to green the province's biggest agricultural industry year-round. CTV's Josh Smith now on making potato farming more sustainable.
You could be looking at the future of farming. One of Canada's biggest food companies unveiled a project aimed at making the potato industry greener.
This project is really to help the future in terms of our growers here in PEI.
Robert Irving of Cavendish Farm says the research will focus on water consumption, pest and disease control, and soil management.
Right here in the island, we've got over 80 plus farmers today. And, you know, we play a big impact in the agriculture world here in PEI. And this is all positive news, I believe.
Island farmers say they're excited to collaborate with Cavendish.
Every farm on PEI thinks of sustainability every day, and but it's very difficult to do the research. So to have a partner like Cavendish Farms that's willing to step in and do this research for us and be transparent and share it with us is going to be very influential.
Kyle Maynard, a potato grower in Western PEI, says this is good news considering the challenges facing the industry, including a trade war with the U.S.
It's a North American market. Times are tough. I mean, you're operating on a thinner budget.
Well, of course, with the tariffs, that was a big concern to us, as you know. We were potentially going to be hit with a 25% tariff.
PEI's potato industry is heavily reliant on exports to the U.S., but Irving says it's business as usual for now.
Fortunately, we don't have that problem today, and we're just waiting to see how things prolong here. But right today, business is as normal and business is steady.
Despite these delicate times, the investment is a big win for the industry. A farm advisory group has been established to ensure that Cavendish Farms and the growers are working together. The aim is to share results that will improve potato crops and the farmland. Josh Smith, CTV News, New London, Prince Edward Island.
Thank you, Josh. Okay, still to come. Looks like it's going to be a nice weekend. Then the hot and humid weather returns for next week. Kaylin has the details after this.
Yeah, this is coming in along the weather front that's starting to make its way across New Brunswick. That is the same front, Todd, that will be coming across PEI and Nova Scotia tonight. So chance of showers for those two provinces overnight. And as we get behind that front, that's when that northwest wind takes over and the humidity levels come down for the start of the weekend.
Okay.
So changes afoot, as we could see there.
Yeah, well, no one's going to mind that.
Yeah. Let's take a look at weather conditions across the country. So beginning out west, still a series of rainfall warnings out for southern areas of Alberta. Once again, parts of the foothills in Alberta could pick up 100 to 200 millimeters of rain. It's raining right now at Calgary, sitting at 12 degrees. Moderate temperatures in Saskatchewan. Some heat in southern Manitoba. Winnipeg currently sitting at 30. Moving off towards the east, there's going to be some heat and humidity building up through southern Ontario and southern Quebec moving through the weekend into the start of next week. Some of that eventually Tuesday time frame, so it's going to be peaking around the Maritime region. Currently, though, it's 20 degrees with those showers coming through Fredericton, 19 at Halifax, 25 at Charlottetown, and currently 19 degrees at St. John's. Taking a look at our timeline for cloud cover and precipitation. So here comes the front and the showers with it, and that is going to be moving west to east across the region as we go through tonight. Now, the highest shower chances are going to be in the province of New Brunswick, followed by Prince Edward Island and the northern and eastern areas of Nova Scotia. The lowest chance of showers in the Maritimes will be in the southwest of Nova Scotia for tonight. There will be clearing, though, during the overnight hours and early Saturday morning. It shouldn't be as foggy of a start to the day tomorrow as it has been over the last couple of mornings, and a good deal of sunshine expected for Saturday afternoon, and fairly clear conditions expected for Saturday evening and Saturday night. Winds, they are gusty this evening as that front is moving in. Some gusts 30 to 60 kilometers per hour. Winds remain on the gusty side for both tonight and for tomorrow. Tomorrow, Saturday, northwest wind. It'll be sustained 15 to 30 kilometers per hour with some gusts between 30 and 50. Now, low temperatures for tonight will be falling into a range of 8 to 11 degrees in northern areas of New Brunswick, getting onto the slightly cooler side of that front. First, other parts of the Maritimes, mostly looking at lows around 12 to 16. Highs in the forecast for tomorrow in the north of New Brunswick. We're looking at low 20s mostly, 24 around Perth, Andover, and Plaster Rock, 23 at Edmonton, 25 though for Miramichi for tomorrow, and then on the coastline 18 to 21. Fredericton tomorrow near 25. Same thing goes for McAdam, St. Stephen, 24 for Grand Manan, 25 at St. John, and 25 degrees for Moncton. Prince Edward Island on Saturday, clearing to become sunny, blustery northwest winds though. Highs near 24 for Summerside, 22 at Cavendish, and 23 at Charlottetown, Montague, and then Surrey, a little bit cooler, 18 degrees there. Cape Breton, compared to the heat and humidity that many areas had today, will be a little bit cooler for tomorrow. That humidity will definitely be down. High temperatures mostly 18 to 22. Near 24 for the North Shore of Nova Scotia. On the Eastern Shore, high temperatures between 20 and 23 degrees. 24 for Amherst, 25 for Truro. City centers, Halifax and Dartmouth. High temperatures near 25 there. 23 for Chester, a little bit warmer at Bridgewater, close to 25 degrees. Same thing goes for Shelburne. 20 at Yarmouth and the Annapolis Valley for tomorrow. High temperatures near 24. Taking a look at the 7-day outlook for New Brunswick coming up on Sunday. There'll be some showers moving through. With those showers, a risk of some thunderstorms. Heat and humidity then starts to build back in on Monday, peaking on Tuesday with highs likely to climb into the low 30s, and with the humidex likely feeling closer towards the high 30s. Showers with the risk of thunderstorms on that day, and then both temperatures and humidity levels come down for Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday of next week. So some ups and downs for temperatures and humidity for Nova Scotia as well. Humidity coming down on the weekend. There will be some showers to come through on Sunday with a risk of some thunderstorms, and then heat and humidity builds Monday to Tuesday time frame, peaking on the Tuesday, and then coming back down for Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Those days right now looking like they're going to be a mix of sun and cloud. And for Prince Edward Island, coming up on Sunday, some showers moving through. High temperatures near 21 degrees, up to 24 on Monday with a mix of sun and cloud. 28 on Tuesday, showers with the risk of thunderstorms. And then back down to highs around the low to mid-20s likely for Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday of next week, Todd.
Those are the first 30s of the season?
Could be for some areas, yes, on Tuesday. Not, I think we might have cracked the 30-degree mark for a few areas already in the Maritimes, but for some communities, yeah, it could be.
Okay, we'll see you at the end of the show. Next, we are going to talk about a couple of new releases that are in theaters this weekend, and we have a maritime music hero on the scene tonight.
Hi, I'm Gordie Sampson. Sunburn is celebrating its 20th anniversary, and to celebrate, we put out an anniversary edition. Stay tuned, we'll tell you about it.
Friday at the theaters, and CTV film critic Richard Krause joins us. Hi, Richard. Nice to see you. The screen that we have on the wide shot gave a bit of a glimpse of what we're going to talk about later, but we have 3 new releases and then a special anniversary. Let's get right into the new ones with a clip of Pixar's new release. And am I pronouncing it right? Is it Elio?
Elio's absolutely correct.
Here it is.
You okay?
I'm trying to get abducted by aliens.
Elio! Skipping school! I don't know if this is boundary testing or sleep regression or... Which one of these is you?
I don't know, but I think that one is you.
Does this have the heart of, say, on one of their previous films, like Up?
No, it doesn't. It has a great deal of heart, but Up and WALL-E and films like that came early on for Pixar are classics. This doesn't feel like a classic, but it's a very good movie. It's the story of Elio, a young 12-year-old who thinks that his relative who's looking after him doesn't want him around, so he wishes that he could go to outer space and find someone out there who would want to take him in. And then he goes to outer space. He finds a way, and he lands on this planet where they think he's an ambassador from Earth who's come to solve all their problems. So he has to grow up pretty fast. The animation is beautiful. The messages of compassion and community, all that stuff woven in there are really good. And I think kids will love the aliens. They're pretty cool. They're very colorful, and they're a lot of fun.
Has Pixar just set its own bar so high that it's hard to match?
I think so. I mean, it's a lot of the same people that worked on Up and WALL-E that are working on this one. But most notably, John Lasseter is no longer there. And I think he was the secret sauce. He was the one who knew how to infuse these movies with so much emotion.
Yeah, okay. The next, very different. It's the latest in the zombie franchise, 28 years later. We have a clip.
They will get the top of you. Up and down again. There's no discharge in the wall.
Okay, well, the first couple, 28 hours, 28 days, they were great. What'd you make of this?
Yeah. And this one is much the same. So it's a much different film, though. So this is a much more reflective movie. It's 28 years later since the rage virus has taken over and turned a good deal of the UK into zombies that are characterized by these intense rages. And there's the story of a 12-year-old who goes with his father to the mainland to do some scrounging and looking for supplies, that kind of thing. And he learns a few things about the big, bad, scary outside world. from their tiny little tightly knit healthy community, and then he goes back a second time with his mother for a very different reason and learns some different lessons. And so this is a film that is a coming of age story. I would say that there are some very graphic moments in here that will please horror fans, but this one is just as emotionally intense as it is anything else. It's an intellectual horror film that wants to give you lots to chew on after you leave the theater. Called 28 Years Later, and it's in theaters right now.
Okay, I think that's worth a look. And again, something very different, a comedy action flick starring Rebel Wilson called Bride Hard.
You guys, tonight is going to be the best bachelorette party ever because it was organized by my oldest friend, Sam!
Come up, I just have to go.
What?
This looks like a movie I've seen, or several movies I've seen.
Yeah, it is exactly that. It's a little bit of Bridesmaids. It's a little bit of The Spy Who Dumped Me. It's a little bit of Die Hard. It's a little bit of a lot of things, and none of it fits together all that comfortably. You've got Rebel Wilson as a bridesmaid at a big wedding, mercenaries attack, so that gives her a chance to use her special training that she's had as a secret agent to rescue everybody. And, you know, it tries to make you laugh, but it tries a little bit too hard, I think. So this would be, for me, rating on a scale of 1 to 5, this would be like a 1.5 star film.
Ooh, okay. I like Rebel Wilson. She's good. Typically. Okay, we've carved out a little time because we want to talk about a significant movie milestone 50 years ago today. A lot of people are not going to believe this. Jaws first jumped on the screen. I think we have, do we have a clip? Richard, the summer of 1975 saw empty beaches all over the Maritimes because of that scene.
Well, I grew up on one of them. I grew up out in Liverpool, Nova Scotia, but Hunts Point Beach is where we had a summer house. And it wasn't so much 1975 that the beach was empty. It was the following year. Okay. So I remember that I knew all the kids that would come every year and rent the cottages along those along that beach. And in 1976, they just did not come. It's anecdotal, but I'm saying that the fear of sharks and Jaws kept them from coming down and spending their valuable tourist dollars in Hunts Point. But the film had that kind of impact and continues to. This is a movie that if you go see it now, and lots of theaters are playing it for the 50th anniversary, go see it now in the theater, and it's just as effective. Doesn't matter how many times you've seen it. It really is a great horror film with one of the all-time great villains, which is a great white shark. It terrified audiences, but it was a revelation for studio executives. It sure was. I mean, the summer used to be seen as kind of a dead period. People were going to go to the cottages, they were going to go sit on the beach, they're going to do, you know, anything except go to the movies. And Jaws changed that. It was the first modern-day blockbuster, played on 400 theaters on its opening weekend, 50 years ago this weekend, which was an unheard of amount of theaters to put one movie in at that time. But they were aggressive with their marketing. They put it in a lot of theaters. And word of mouth made this the most profitable movie of that year. Yeah, and they proved that people would go to a darkened theater in the dead of summer. And now summer is, you know, alongside Oscar season, is the busiest season for films and for movie theaters. Of course, I think you would agree there's never a bad time of year to sit in a movie theater. Listen, it's going to be blazingly hot here this weekend, so I feel like I'm probably going to end up soaking up some AC at the movies this weekend. Well, maybe it's time to have another sitting of Jaws and recount some of those great lines. Richard, good to see you. Thanks for joining us. We'll talk in a couple weeks. Thanks for having me. All right. We'll take a break. Lots to come. Stay with us.
Okay, so coming up after the weekend, we're going to give you a chance to win a trip off to London.
Yeah, we're not talking about London, Ontario either. Plus, join us for your chance to win tickets to see the Halifax Tides.
In health and medical news tonight, we look at a new study that finds more older adults are at risk for accidental falls. Those stories and more from CTV's Crystal Garrett in the Lifeline.
Plant-based foods are not automatically healthier than their animal-based counterparts. This according to a new study out of Johns Hopkins University. It tracked biomarkers from more than 7,000 participants who had no history of heart disease. The research found that meat substitutes are frequent unhealthy culprits and can actually be quite high in sodium, additives, and saturated fats, often from coconut oil. While numerous peer-reviewed studies have found that many plant-based diets can reduce cardiovascular risk due to their nutritional profile, such as being low in saturated fat and high in fiber and nutrients, but not all plant-based foods share these benefits. If you are looking to replace animal proteins, it's advised you choose unprocessed whole foods, such as beans, legumes, tofu, and tempeh. A report published this week finds older adults are increasingly at risk from unintentional falls. University of Michigan researchers tracked data on Americans aged 65 and older and found that falls were to blame in 1 in 56 fatalities for people in that age group. Researchers say falls can cause head injuries or broken bones that can lead to permanent disability and trigger a cascade of other health problems. They add the best way to prevent falls: staying active. Not all learning needs to take place in the classroom. For some students, researchers say working in a garden is an effective and rewarding way to grow their brain power. Across North America, there is a budding movement to expand school garden programs, especially in cities, which proponents say not only allows students to learn about plants and soil, but also about nutrition, math, and problem solving. The added benefit of school gardening programs is access to fresh, nutritious food, which fuels young brains for better learning. With health and medical news, I'm Crystal Garrett for the Lifeline.
We're on the scene. 2 decades ago, Sunburn put musician Gordie Sampson on the map, showcasing his talent as both a singer and world-class songwriter. Now, as Katie Kelly shows us, the Cape Breton native is marking the album's 20th anniversary in a big way.
I just learned so much of it myself making that record, much more so than any of the other records I made.
It's been 2 decades since Cape Breton's Gordie Sampson released his breakthrough album.
And how many songwriter circles have you done where you haven't sang Sunburn?
Not too many.
To mark 20 years, Gordie has released Sunburn with commentary.
You know, when you watch a movie and it's like the director's commentary, so there's sort of that happening for the record.
A behind-the-scenes look at the album's making.
It was really fun for me to go back and do that. I had to call some friends because some of it I just either didn't remember, blanked out of my memory or whatever, but it was fun. Sometimes I lied. Sometimes I didn't know, and I just made it up because I make it up for a living. I mean, that's what I do.
The train pulled in Paris like a rocket to the moon.
Your song Paris was really enjoyed by Faith Hill. I think, did she put it on her album?
Yeah.
I haven't.
Did she put it on her album?
Back in 2005, Sunburn earned Sampson multiple awards and a Juno nomination for Songwriter of the Year. All while some songs found new life with stars like Faith Hill and Keith Urban.
I put that out just as I was going to Nashville, and that record really kicked open a couple of doors for me down there.
This summer, fans can join in on the celebration at a big show in Cape Breton.
The Red Farm Show, August 3rd. Myself, Dylan, Jody Guthrow, Bahamas, Sloan. My daughter Amelie is opening the show. It's going to be super fun. And it's on Tobin's Farm outside of Sydney River. So we are really, really pumped. Bring your RV, bring your beer, bring awesome.
And as you can see, Gordie used to spend a lot of time in these studios. All right, we'll take a break. We'll wrap things up after this.
Mornings with Aaron and Peter.
We want to put you on Aaron and Peter's payroll. Win your share of $10,000.
Go to move100halifax.ca to register and then listen for your name at 8, 10, 2, and 4 p.m.
Looking at the markets, the Dow wrapped the week flat today. We have new retail numbers from Stats Canada that shows a slowdown in spending. Marilla Fernandez has the details.
Canadian retail sales were up in April, but dramatically down in May. An early estimate suggests sales dropped more than 1% last month. That's the biggest dip in a year. Retail sales were up in April by 0.3%, with consumers rushing to buy cars to get ahead of tariffs. Analysts say the May number is another sign the economy could stall later this year. Here's how the trading day ended. The Canadian dollar is down to 73.79. West Texas Intermediate is up to 73.84. Our fix on Western Canadian Select has it up to 61.48, and the TSX is down slightly to 26,497. Those are your business headlines. I'm Marilla Fernandez.
Kaelin's on the weather deck with a look at what seems to be a decent weekend ahead, hey?
Yeah, it is for the most part, especially coming up on Saturday. Now, currently out here on the deck, it's a little bit the cooler side. There's a gusty wind blowing, occasional peaks of sunshine through some cloudiness here that's hanging around the Atlantic coastline of Nova Scotia. Let's take a look at your picture for tonight, and that is coming in actually from our very own Daryl Reeves, videographer in Cape Breton, and Daryl has sent in this picture of the Sydney Fiddle, and it's lit up green, and this was yesterday in recognition of World Kidney Cancer Day. So I want to thank Daryl very much for sharing this picture with us. Sydney area for tomorrow. It's going to be cooler than it was today. Mix of sun and cloud, high temperature, probably around 20 degrees. Some areas, Cape Breton, though, could get up between 21 and 23 for tomorrow. Blustery northwest wind, lower humidity compared to today. Day planner for tomorrow, starting off in the morning, it is still going to be some cloud cover clearing out of Prince Edward Island, eastern areas of Nova Scotia, including Sydney and Cape Breton. And then moving into the afternoon, mostly sunny. The northwest wind, it'll still have some gusts, 30 to 50 kilometers per hour. A lot of high temperatures will be in the low to mid 20s. Lower humidity expected for all three maritime provinces. Showers returning on Sunday. A little bit of a programming note. I am headed off on vacation, Todd, so I'm going to be gone from the program for the next little while.
Who's doing the weather?
I'll be a combination of Brianne Foley and Stephanie Seacos.
Okay, good. Hopefully they don't have to wear the puffer jacket on summer days outside. I know you're heading off for some time off. Well deserved. We'll see you when you get back. Have a good weekend.
Thank you.
Finally for us tonight, the sight of a car being driven down Rome's Spanish Steps has appeared in many movies, of course. You've never seen it like this, though. Early Tuesday morning, an 81-year-old man made his way very carefully down the steps, eventually getting stuck about halfway. The man who tested negative for alcohol, by the way, told police he thought he was driving to work. Experts are checking the steps to see if the vehicle caused any lasting damage. I suspect the keys have been taken away. That's it for our look at the day here at home. We'll run it in a moment over on CTV2. And Bruce is sitting here at 11:30 with the late update. CTVNewsAtlantic.ca is where you'll find our reporting on the weekend. We'll leave you soaring above Blue Rocks, just outside Lunenburg now, with the names of everyone who brings you your newscasts each and every night. Thanks for watching. I hope to see you here Monday at 6. Until then, have a great weekend.
CTV News, the Maritime's #1 newscast.